So starting to build some strength back up into the body. You can see here I've made a new centre rail. So the seat doesn't mount onto that, but it'll kind of dictate how low it can go. Obviously balancing precariously, but that's probably where the back seat will go at its furthest back. And I think, looking at the US build, that should be plenty. It'll probably be dictated by the battery terminals actually. They have to move a little bit, either forwards or up. Yeah, so this piece is all that was left after trimming across that centre bit. So some new box section to replace the captive nuts, and these go down into the battery pack to lift it up. So yeah, that's welded and plug welded along the floor. Still more bracing to go. It's this section here, and I'm going to double skin the whole part, base bit, and then up here I'll drill a hole for the battery cable. Probably put a drawstring in to help pull it through later. Do the same for the other side, but I think as I showed in a previous video, I'm going to have to drill or move that whole position to trace the wire through. So yeah, it's a rebuilding strength at the moment. Okay, that's all plated up. Just about to see the holes there for the main battery power terminals. Put the extra hole in there just so I could clean out any swarf shavings, but it's pretty good. I bought this little plasma cutter from Lidl. It's got a built-in compressor. It's only 130 quid, so that's not bad. So learning how to use that, but cutting out all these little shapes with the angle grinder would have made a bit of a mess and gone through a lot of blades, so discs. Once the slag is chipped off, it's fine to weld. You don't see the edges anyway. I mean, in these corners, it's going to get some extra boxing in at some point, probably for the seatbelt inertia reel. I think that's going to have to live down there. So, and they bolt in sort of backwards. So I'm going to have to build a little box coming off there. So I'll brace that in as well, and that'll make it even stronger. So I think next up is the frame for the Penthouse. And then I'll try and work out how I'm going to get all the cooling lines and the motor connector up to it. And then I've got some steel to build the new low profile sort of top for the battery, because obviously all I'm going to need is a few connections. So yeah. And fitting the Penthouse. So it's just some 25mm, 3mm wool box that I've used to go across at the front and back. The front was pretty easy. So I put some fixings along. They just go through the top half for the cover and the base plate. So it's all dismantleable for access, because some of the cooling fittings, particularly inside, are really in the way, right up against the back. So you can see the back I've had to stand off a little bit. Just away. This is for those connectors. So it's the motor connector, which is pretty big. Also this coolant lines to the power controller is very close to that corner, but with this level of raise I can just about get it on. So all in, I think it's nicely enclosed, should be nice and safe. And once I've extended the boot by about a foot, it's going to be a pretty cavernous rear end. We put a full-size spare wheel down there. Yeah, just going to take this apart now, fully weld it, and on to the next job. There we go, that's the Penthouse tube welded in place. This actually took quite a long time to clearance all that. That's why I went for the thick wall, and with the motor and auxiliary connections here. I also had to make space for the flip over latches. Yeah, finished welding up the floor. I'm just head scratching how to make all the coolant line connections now. I was just having a look, and I think maybe the motor to power pack hose I might be able to reuse. I think I'm going to try and come up through here. I might investigate drilling the spot welds out of that center section. It looks kind of like a little cover. That might be quite nice to access the motor cable over there. I'm pretty sure that will reach directly by going up and over. It should be quite neat. And then any the BMS ones that will sort of go from here and here, I might put those, obviously I'm going to have some sort of bulkhead up here behind the seats, so they can go down into this section and pop out maybe straight into the sort of low profile penthouse there. Never ending list of little jobs. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Any bright ideas or stuff that you'd like to know about. I'm kind of just winging it as I go along. Obviously there's a lot of research in the background, but you only really know until you get in there yourself. Right, I think that's it for this week. Cheers.